Welcome back to the Dynasty Kings podcast. I'm your host, Jared.
And I'm Austin.
And I'm Cyle.
And today we have a good one for you. We are talking week 3 of the NFL. We're talking our starts and our sits. And today we are starting off with our special guest, Cyle. Go ahead and kick us off with the Falcons versus the Lions.
Let's get into it, baby. Oh, Lord. Tex, or the Falcons and the Lions. Hold up, sorry. I'm on the wrong page here. So the Falcons and the Lions. So looking into this game, man, I had so many guys who I was kind of looking at in terms of, wow, these guys are actually doing a lot better than I thought. I mean, you got Tyler Algier going crazy this year.
Yep.
Bijan's been looking like a stud. I mean, Ritter's on the right home bell. But, I mean, the Lions, I mean, you look everywhere and you're excited about it. I mean, Josh Reynolds, bro, like, we're rostering Josh Reynolds at this point.
Yeah.
Starting him.
Highly.
Yeah. So I mean, they're in a dome. They're in Detroit this week. So looking into it, dude. I mean, so the Lions are the number 4 offense overall right now in yards and in pass yards. So.
Jeez.
But the Falcons, dude, they're number 3. I mean, Arthur Smith is low-key running game. I
That's
mean,
total
we know
yards.
that we saw what these guys were doing last week.
Yeah,
So
that's total yards, they're 3?
yeah,
Wow.
Total yards number 3. And the Atlanta defense, too, bro. I was looking into it. I didn't realize that they were nice. They were a top 3 passing defense. They're top 10 in rushing. I mean, points allowed. I mean, they're kind of doing it all, dude.
AJ Terrell's look legit, for real.
Yeah.
And Jesse Bates has been huge over there.
Yeah.
2 interceptions, if I believe already.
Yeah, so I feel like the guy everyone's kind of probably excited about this week is probably Gibbs, other than, I mean, who my guy is probably going to be. But, I mean, Monty's out, so we were kind of thinking of Gibbs game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Noah Amon-Ra, too, so, I mean, fuck, it's like a perfect
Maybe.
blend. Maybe. Amon-Ra's on the
Yeah.
fritz, but everybody else is looking pretty good. They don't really have that many big injuries.
Yeah.
But my guy this week is Bijan. I mean, it's
Yep.
so hard,
Yeah.
bro. It's so hard not to. Like, I was looking at Algier, and I was like, it's so hard because, I mean, Bijan, like, we've all been feasting over him. Everyone's drooling over him. So, I
He's
mean,
a monster.
we're just waiting for this next game where they are going to go crazy. I mean, we know Ritter, the shitter, like, he's not doing anything,
No,
dude.
the passing
Yeah.
game for the Falcons until further notice is not touched for me.
No, well, and I mean, the Lions' pass D actually isn't that bad. Their defense isn't great, but their pass D and their pass yards allowed was not great. I mean, what are we going to do? Drake London hasn't done nothing. Kyle Pitts hasn't done nothing yet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so Bijan, I mean, he's looking like that guy. And Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Justin Houston are both on IR now.
Yeah,
So,
man.
I mean, big blow to the secondary. But, I mean, I just think that they're going to feed Bijan, dude. They're going to go pass. They're going to throw it to him. They're going to run every single play, it seems. So,
That makes
who
sense.
knows?
No, I think he's a must start, and hopefully in any redraft leagues you guys had, you took him highly because
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's him. For
He's
sure.
legit.
Yep, he's what is advertised. Like, he's what we
Yeah.
thought he was. So
Exactly.
It's always nice when that works out.
Exactly.
All right, well, on to the Chargers and Vikings, which is the one I'm doing. So I want to start off by saying that this is the highest over-under this week out of any of the games at 54.5. So I think Vegas and me in general think that this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
So I would say anybody involved with the Chargers or the Vikings passing offense, you're going to want to start.
Right.
But the guy I'm highlighting today is Mike Williams. I
Okay.
think he looked good coming off of the injury. Many secondary is suspect until further notice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like all wide receivers against them, but I particularly think Mike Williams is in for a big game this week.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's my
even,
guy.
Even with Keenan Allen having a big game last week, you're
Yeah.
still high on him?
I think
Okay.
so, because I think Mike ended up with close. I think he had 80 yards. I should have wrote it down. I think it was 83 yards last week.
Okay.
But he had 164 air yards towards him. So they're trying to complete big passes to him, and I think that they're going to succeed against this blitz-heavy, kind of suspect secondary that Minnesota's been running.
All right.
Yeah,
I like
mean,
that.
these guys are on the line. It's battle 0-2, bro.
Exactly,
Like,
it's
I feel like it's gonna be a shootout, no equity. So
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
It's the pretender compender.
Yeah.
Or what is it? I don't remember what it is. I saw something
can't
like
remember
that.
either, but
Pretender
that's-
competition or
Yeah.
something like that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
one of these teams is going to end 1-2, and I'm not sure which one, but I think they're both going to go out fighting, and it's going to be a heavy passing attack for sure.
somebody's going to the shadow realm. If
Yeah.
they,
So-
if it's the Vikings and they tank for Caleb Williams, oof.
They're going to be disgusting next year if that
It would be
happens.
nuts. It would be nuts.
Um,
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this game. Look out for anybody on the passing attack for either of these teams, and I'd start all of them.
Any notes on Madison? You starting Madison or
I don't think
How do
you
you feel
start
about
Madison until
Cam
further
Akers?
notice. Yeah,
It's the worst rushing offense right now.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, would they end up with 30, 40 rushing yards against the Eagles?
Yeah,
and I
it
know
was
the Eagles
bad.
have a good defense, but yeah, I mean, until I know the Vikings also signed Dalton Risner to try to hopefully assist with the offensive line a little bit, but until further notice, I'm avoiding all Vikings running backs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Makes sense. We got to see what happens with that.
Yes, hopefully you
with
didn't pick him too highly.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Nope.
But I'll go ahead and move on. I got the Saints versus the Packers. And my player that I'm highlighting is Kendre Miller. the
Okay.
rookie out of TCU.
Spicer.
Yeah, that's our spicy one that we got so far.
Oh my.
Yes, sir. Because Jamal Williams, right now it is Friday, September 22nd when we're recording this. Jamal Williams was ruled as out like 30 minutes ago. So I'm boosting Kendra Miller into my lineups. I know that some people think Tony Jones is going to be the guy there. He looked okay last week, but he's not the guy. We've seen him before. He's not the guy. It's Kendra's time. He's finally healthy, returning from the hamstring injury. Like I said, Jamal Williams not playing. Kamara's still suspended. And the Packers are actually 27th against the run. So I know they played Bijan last week.
They got 8 up from Atlanta last week.
Yeah, Bijan tore them up. But obviously he's going to be better than Kendra Miller. And then week 1 they played the Bears. So, I mean, if Khalil Herbert can look at least decent against them, I think Kendra Miller's in for a pretty big game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I still am hype on, Chris Olave. I think Derek Carr is still going to have a good game. I think this is actually going to be, out of the slate of games that I have, this is going to be the best game out of all of the games because...
Yeah, this one's interesting.
Yeah, the week 3 slate is not that good, but I think this one is going to be... It could be, honestly, kind of like the Chargers and Vikings where they're kind of just slinging it because Jordan Love has looked really good, and Christian Watson has a chance to play. He's making his season debut, so we'll see if that ends up happening, but I think this is going to be a pretty good game.
I think so too. It's spicy. It's 2 teams as well. I think that like both of their fan bases think they're a little bit better than the national media does.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see like how that kind of snowballs depending on who wins this one.
Yeah, I'm hyped for it.
And it's at Lambeau. How many games have been in Lambeau so far?
0.
I was about to say,
This-
this
I
is
saw
the first
that.
game
Yeah,
in
this is
Lambeau,
their home
right?
opener.
This
Okay,
is Jordan Love's first start in Lambeau.
That's
too,
what I thought.
believe.
I was like, I'm pretty sure this is his own opener, so...
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I know he started a couple games, but I think both of them were on the road before
Yeah,
this one.
they
so
were. It
we'll
was
see.
at
I bet-
Atlanta and at Chicago.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I think even when he played against the Chiefs or something, when Aaron Rodgers
Oh,
hurt
right.
his finger, I think that was away as well. So it'll be interesting. I bet those fans are gonna be going crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a nice close game, honestly, probably like a 24-21 type.
I can see that.
It'll
That's
be
insane.
some mistakes. I mean, those are good defenses. So
Yeah.
there's going to be passing mistakes. There's going to be fumbles. So
100%.
I'm hype on it, and I like Kendra Miller this week. So especially with the thing is too is with all the running backs injured right now, you probably if you have Kendra Miller, if you had a guy like Nick Chubb or Austin Eckler, a guy that you drafted first, second round, and he's out now, I would be more than happy starting Kendra Miller in there this week. So moving on, we'll go ahead and switch back over to Kyle to talk about the Texans and the Jags.
All right, Texans and Jags, man. I mean, this has not been good football from them. I mean, we thought that Calvin Ridley looked great in game 1, which he did.
Yep.
But, I mean, that offense as a whole, I mean, just not looking great. Travis Etienne, he's looked okay, but, I mean, offensive line play hasn't looked good. Trevor Lawrence not looking like himself from last season at all.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the Texans, we don't really know what we have because, I mean, they've been missing linemen.
I think they
CJ
have 4
Stroud.
linemen out, right?
Yeah. CJ Stroud is new. D'Amico Ryans is a new coach. Like, I mean, there's a lot of brand new factors. They don't have a great run game. They don't have standout receivers. But I think my guy out of this game is going to be Nico Collins, bro.
There it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Nice.
So looking at it, I mean, like, they're not good rushing teams. I mean, Pierce is decent, but has not really done anything great to date. And, I mean, that's also attributed to O-line. And like we were just saying, it's not really looking good. I mean, the Jaguars got some good players on defense, but, I mean, there are a lot of pass rushers that are more than, like, the run stoppers.
Yeah.
So... I mean, yes, they're going to be putting pressure on CJ Stroud, but I mean, he looked like a stud last week. I mean, and he has a shoulder injury, but I don't think that's really nagging him that much.
Yeah, he played through it last week. So.
Yeah, I mean, 387 yards?
Against the Ravens, too.
Yeah, that's a good game to come off of, bro, especially against a tough D like that. It's going to be raining, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they got possible thunderstorms. I mean, we know it's Florida, bro. Like, it's crazy. But for Nico Collins, I mean, no Tank Dell. He has no other competition. He's the wide receiver, I think, 7 through the year. I don't know if I wrote it down.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Eating.
So he had 8 last week, too.
In fantasy, wide receiver 7, and he's a top 5 in yards, and that's counting for Debo, who's number 2, I think, after last night's game. So I mean, Nico Collins, bro, like looking like a stud. Early season buy low candidate. If you didn't get him, it's too late.
Yeah,
that
it
ship
is.
is sailed.
Rising now.
Because you could get him for free in drafts.
Yeah.
You could get him for pretty much free.
Yeah, you could have gotten him for free up until this rookie draft. I mean, even Tank Dell was probably going higher than him after the rookie hype, and it's out the door now. Nico Collins is looking like a bona fide wide receiver 1 low key.
Yep, I like that.
I like that a lot, actually. And Zay Jones is out as well, too, for this game. So
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just hard to kind of rate the Jags right now.
Yeah,
Like they're kind of shaking off some rust. Peterson is kind of looking like how he was looking towards after the Super Bowl for Philly.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just getting some mesh together and stuff like that. But
yeah, because they're in a weird spot after a close win against the Colts and then looking just totally lost against the Chiefs. So.
Well, we talked about it week 1. Their O-line has been the problem. It's their tackles.
Yeah.
It's Cam Robinson. I think he's missed time, and then their other tackle on the other side, Walker Little. And then I don't even think the rookie's been playing.
Oh, really?
Has he been playing?
He has not been.
Anton Harrison? Yeah, I don't think he's been playing.
So that plan has just failed. For
I think that's the big thing with the Jags.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they look so different. Is just their O-line is just shambles. So
that makes sense. That's going to cause things to slow down for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, we could see a big game out of Will Anderson too. So that'd be hype.
I hope so. That would be sick.
That'd be hype.
Well,
all right.
If we're being honest, the Texans got to throw it to stay in this game, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
no, and I feel like they're going to be having to throw it all season.
All season.
Yeah.
Their defense is.
Yeah.
They're getting pieces there, but they're definitely not at that level where they can take over the game, and they're suffering from injuries as well. I think Derek Stingley just hurt his hamstring, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he hasn't been practicing this week.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But, alrighty, on to the Dolphins and the Broncos. I am sitting Broncos wide receivers in this matchup. I think that the Dolphins pass rush is legit. Jalen Phillips is sounding like he might play as well.
Yep.
And after the breakdown of pass protection that the Broncos suffered last week against Washington, and I'm not trying to say that the Dolphins' D-line is equal to the Commanders by any means, but I think the Broncos' O-line is a definite problem for them, and I feel like he's going to have a lot of pressure on him this week, and that it's not going to work out super well for the wide receivers of the Broncos.
All right, so we're sitting them all.
Yeah, I would say all of them. Jerry Jeudy has not. He came back last week and I think had 3 points or something like that.
Yeah.
Marvin Mims completed a couple big passes, but outside of that, really didn't give us a lot of value. I'm not big on him right now.
So are we thinking sit all Broncos, or are we just thinking it's a run week? Javonte breakout week?
So Javonte has impressed me. He looks really healthy comparative to what I thought he could be.
Yeah.
And I definitely think if you have a Broncos running back, you could probably feel comfortable starting him. Dolphins run defense got gashed by the Chargers and then kind of stood strong against the Patriots, so we're not sure where it's at totally, but in general, I think if you have a plus starter on the Broncos, this isn't the kind of matchup with the run defense where you'd want to sit them.
Yeah, it's just tough, too, because especially, it's the Dolphins. We know they're going to throw all over the place. Yes,
Exactly.
you got Pat Surtain and a good Broncos defense, but
Right.
who knows? The Dolphins look like they can run up against anybody this year.
I agree.
The problem, though, is that Jalen Waddle might not play this game, too, though.
Yes,
So
that is
he's
true.
like
Really
a 1
big
in 3rd
difference.
chance I saw of playing this week, so that'll be huge. But, like you said, they're still going to throw the ball, whether it's to Tyreek Hill, whether it's to
River
Craycraft.
Craycraft.
Craycraft, Barrios. They're going to throw the ball.
Doesn't matter, bro. Feed the river.
Speaking of another team that I think is going to throw the ball a lot more now, we got the Titans versus the Browns, and my player of the week is actually Deshaun Watson. I know.
Oh,
Voldemort.
my goodness.
Lord Voldemort, man.
Interesting.
Wow.
And that's
Okay.
crazy coming
Okay.
from me because
Right.
y'all know
Hater.
I hate Deshaun Watson. I've
Yeah.
always hated him, even out of college. I
Right.
thought he was overhyped. But without Nick Chubb now, I know that obviously people are hype on Jerome Ford. People are hype on Kareem Hunt coming back. But the Titans are the number 1 defense against the run.
Yep.
So if you have Jerome Ford, you're so excited. Oh, I picked up Jerome Ford, number 1 raver. Well, you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait till next week because he's not gonna be that good this week, and we have to see if Kareem Hunt what his role is looking like because that's gonna be the real question. So I'm scared to start either of them. I probably wouldn't start either of them unless I'm really in a hole. I'd start Kendre Miller over both of them. So yeah, Nick Chubb mangled his leg. There's no secret there. I think Watson's going to have a bounce back week because last week he played the Steelers defense. He looked terrible, but the Steelers have a really good defense. I know I'm a homer, but they looked insane last week against Deshaun Watson. I think also, though, that their game plan was kind of messed up because Nick Chubb was out for the majority of the game, so they kind of were just in shambles. But I think that this week Deshaun Watson does get back on track against this kind of piss-poor secondary with the Titans, so... Any thoughts on there from you guys?
So I agree with what you're saying about the run defense. The Titans' D-line is savage.
Yeah.
And their secondary has a problem. Are you still starting Deshaun Watson if Amari Cooper gets announced out? Because that is a huge X factor.
Well, the thing is that he was supposed.
week?
Yeah,
He
he
played
played
last week
He played
through-
through it last week, and he had 10 targets last week.
Right, he was
so,
eating,
yeah,
kind of.
he still looked good. He didn't even look injured. So
No.
isn't it like a shoulder injury? Is that what
I
it
think
is?
it's a groin
A
injury.
groin injury, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
he always
That's
has
what it is.
groin, hamstring,
core stuff.
ankles. It's
Yeah.
something, dude.
I think he'll play through it again. I probably would still start. I mean, it depends on the other options, but I
Right.
probably would still be
Okay.
comfortable starting him because I just don't think that they're going to be that effective on the ground, and I think that they might be playing. They actually might be playing from behind. I know it's in Cleveland, but if DeAndre Hopkins plays, he's also questionable for the Titans with a upper ankle injury. We're gonna have to see what happens, but this is just like I said, man. The Week 3 slate is just not that good, and I'm just not that excited for this game.
Gotcha.
So
Don't really think there's gonna be huge fantasy outputs in this one in general.
I mean, if Amari Cooper plays and logs a full practice today or tomorrow, then I'm definitely comfortable starting him, especially if he's getting 10 targets like last week. But yeah, I mean, I'm not confident in Elijah Moore anymore. I mean, I never really was.
Yeah.
Hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything.
No.
Njoku, he looked okay on like one catch last week,
Right.
but I'm
He's
not
very
hype
average
on
as
them.
well.
So we'll move on to Kyle. You got the Bills and the Commanders.
Bills and Commanders. Austin, I know you wish you were doing this one, but
I was a little sad.
I mean, the Commanders, dude, like it's tough. They're like a middling team to the max. Like statistically, too. Like I was looking at them, I didn't realize. Like I felt like they're middling, but like looking at them, they're literally middling out in like pass yards allowed, rush yards allowed. Like they're literally
Really?
mid-team.
Just right
almost
at 14,
everything.
16.
Like, points allowed too. I'm like, oh my
Interesting.
god, dude. Like, I mean, you got Sam Howell. Ron Rivera is kind of like I feel like out the door. He should have been out the door at
Yeah,
this
he
point.
should be gone.
Sam Howell, I feel like, is just trying to figure it out, dude. He's really like what Justin Fields was kind of speaking about on the Truth. They're just like, hey, I'm just going to do my own thing out here, I feel. Because
Yeah.
what are you relying on in this offense? I mean,
Right.
Scary Terry hasn't looked great through the year. Jahan Dotson hasn't looked great.
No, I don't.
Nobody's looked good on that team right now on offense besides Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
I mean, Antonio Gibson had a nice little breakout run last week.
But that's it.
Yeah, he hasn't really done anything else.
He
but-
tends to do that, where he
Yeah.
kind of just gets a lot of his yardage off one big carry.
Exactly. Well, and it's just like the Bills' D is good.
Yeah.
I mean, they might not have like the best D, but I mean, in terms of output and when you're getting scored on like that from
Right.
offense, like it's easy to kind of hold people because they have no option but to pass.
Yeah.
So, player of the week, dude. I kind of wanted to go Bills D. Like,
Yeah.
fantasy player of the week. I low key,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
Bills defense. But if we're going to an individual player, I'm actually going to go with James Cook. Another
Okay.
running back.
Yeah.
I like that.
He looked good last week. He's kind of proven us
He
wrong.
did.
He's looking a little bit bigger in my opinion. I don't know if that means anything, but he's looking
Right.
bigger.
No, I agree.
We know his size was kind of an issue coming out, but I mean, the Bills had to get a running game. Like,
Yeah.
it's been
For
needed.
years.
It's been
Bad.
needing to be addressed. I mean, we thought that okay, James Cook, decent pick, probably not the pick that they all wanted. They wanted to trade for a running back or get somebody big, but I mean, James Cook is finally kind of looking like a guy he was over at Alabama. So Georgia, sorry, Georgia.
Same one. I know that any Alabama fan.
Yeah,
exactly.
right. God, just throw one of those two names out on the board.
Exactly. You know it's one of them.
Yeah, I mean he's looking good again, bro. And I mean, let's see what we were looking at here.
He's fifth in the league in rushing right now, if I remember correctly.
Really?
Mhm.
Yep.
169 yards.
Yep.
if
I mean, a lot
correctly.
of that's from last week, though. But
Yeah,
exactly.
still.
But he looked good in limited snaps against the Jets, but the Bills just stopped running the ball.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I mean, we know Josh Allen is always going to be the threat. Like,
Yeah.
the passing
Yeah.
game is always going to be a threat with the Bills. It's going to open up the run game. And, I mean, the Commanders have a good, like, offensive or defensive line.
Yes.
But,
Really good.
I mean, they're also pass rush heavy. So, I mean,
Yeah.
really, those guys like Chase Young, who's looking spry again.
Yep. Hey.
He is.
Don't call it a comeback. He's looking spry again. But, I mean, they're going to be focusing on Josh Allen and trying to force that ball. I mean,
Yeah.
who's their middle linebacker? Is it Holcomb?
No, he's on the Steelers now.
Is it Logan Wilson?
Yes. it
It's
is
Logan Wilson.
Wilson.
Okay, I was about to say, I knew it was one of those, like,
Yeah.
sauced up white
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
cracked in the
Middle
middle.
linebacker, yeah, just
I-
100 tackles guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be Logan Wilson versus James Cook this week, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I like James Cook.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. That speed is different. No, he definitely looks a lot better, and I like that pick a lot.
Yeah.
I'm wishing that I had been a little bigger on him and drafted him in a couple more leagues, but
Yeah.
And you guys are healthy, like relatively healthy almost all
Exactly.
across the board. So, I
Yeah.
mean, nothing better than having all your starters, all your offensive linemen. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys didn't have a ton of turnover this offseason either, so.
exactly. Yep. We have. I think Micah Hyde is suffering a hamstring injury, and so he might play this week. And I think Leonard Floyd had an ankle thing, but he skipped practice in his
Yeah,
video. So
he was practicing,
When,
so.
when is Von Miller supposed to come back? Do you know?
I think
He's on PUP, right?
yeah, he's on IR if I remember
Is it
correctly.
IR?
Yeah, so
I thought he
think
was on PUP.
He might be
so-
on PUP.
Either way, it's
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Yeah,
Is it
if
4
he's
weeks?
on-
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because if you do a preseason, yeah.
Oh yes, that's right. Yeah, it's when it's in the middle of the season. It's 6 weeks for IR. Yeah. So I mean, hopefully by like week 5 or 6. But honestly, like take your time, dude. Make sure you're healthy and good to go. I'm not really concerned about the Bills being like 3-7 by week 10 or anything like that. You
Yeah.
know, they might not be in the same winning streak level as they were last season because the schedule a little bit tougher, but that's all right. But yeah, I like that. I like that start a lot, and I'm on to a Colts versus Ravens Minshew Mania game.
Yeah.
I am picking somebody who I don't think we have mentioned yet on this podcast, because the Colts are 5th in passing yards allowed through 2 weeks. And that was against the Jaguars, who struggled against the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Texans, who have a very young offense. I'm saying Zay Flowers eats here.
Okay.
I think he is going to spaz out against this Colts secondary that is young and definitely building up, but has struggled to stop the pass right now.
Okay.
I swore you were going to go Pittman right there.
Oh, really?
I swore you were going Pittman right there.
I think I went Pittman last week. So
I did. That's why I was like, watch, he's dropping Pittman again, especially with Minshew coming back. So.
I thought he was going to say like Zach Moss or something, but
No.
I like that Zay Flowers pick.
I think
Zay's looking good.
He looks really good, and I think he might be one of those guys who you're thinking whether you need to start or sit him on your bench and redraft. Hammer it down.
Start it.
Bet in the car.
Just do it.
He has 8 receptions this week.
Just
Put the car on it.
Put the car on it.
Lamar is good. He can throw the football.
Yeah, hey, Lamar looked really good last week. I will not lie.
He can throw the football.
Against the Texans?
No, against the Bengals.
No. They played the Texans.
Bengals
last week.
No,
Yeah,
they
you're
played the
bugging.
Texans.
But you're
They played C.J. Stroud.
No, the Colts played the Texans last week.
Are we sure?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure. But yes.
Nah.
So the Bengals defense, he looked pretty good.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
The other thing too, the Ravens offensive line looked good, which
Yeah.
is promising because they have major injuries there.
I mean, no Ronnie Stanley still, so...
Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, we'll see. I know the Colts D-line has been, like, semi-productive for what they are. DeForest Buckner's a forever underrated monster, in my opinion. But, yeah, I think Zay Flowers is my guy here, and if you're on the fringe, I'm putting him in the lineup 100%.
I like that.
Yeah. And no Justice Hill, he just got ruled out. So,
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
Gus
That's
Edwards, who
Gus
else, right? Is it Melvin Gordon? Is Melvin Gordon next up now? Because
I was just looking at it. It's Melvin Gordon and Kenyon Drake.
Bro.
They're probably going to
Always
take...
forget about Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, he's going to get some pass catching work, but Gus Edwards is going to get all the early down work and the goal line work. So
They're going to be throwing, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got to. Use your weapons.
We'll
And Odell's playing.
Exactly.
Ugh.
We'll see for how long.
Yeah.
But
So I'm actually moving on to the Patriots and the Jets, and I have our first sit of the week.
Nice.
And this is going to be... Some people are going to be upset with this. Some people are going to think it's kind of spicy. I definitely think it's spicy, but I'm sitting Garrett Wilson this week.
Ooh,
I am sitting Garrett Wilson this week. I literally am. Like, I'm starting Puka Nacua over him in one of my leagues.
Not a bad play.
Yeah, I don't doubt
Like,
that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
it's funny because I said to sit Garrett Wilson last week against a tough Cowboys defense, and the Jets got blown out. But guess you still ended up with almost 100 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. But this week, he won't. And I'll tell you why. Do you know the last time the Jets beat the Patriots? Do either of you know?
It's got to be probably like 2016 or 2015.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like, it's been 6 or 7 years.
Because it went
right?
from Tom, and then they still they just had rookie quarterbacks, and Bill Belichick just abuses these guys.
Yeah.
Dude.
Kyle was right on the nose. It was December 27th, 2015, and they won in overtime. And you want to know the overtime? The touchdown was from Ryan Fitzpatrick to Eric Decker.
Oh my god!
That was the last time the Jets beat the Patriots.
Was Brandon Marshall on this team?
I think he was.
Oh my god!
That's what I'm saying. And Brandon Marshall is about to be like eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, literally.
Wow.
So that was the last time the Jets have beat the Patriots. I'm not saying that they're going. I'm not saying the Patriots are going to. It could be a trap game for them, but I still think the Patriots will win. And Christian Gonzalez has looked like the best corner of the draft.
Dog.
Like, I know Witherspoon hasn't really played, but Gonzalez has looked insane. He even got high praise from Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot. Tyreek Hill talks a lot of shit.
He was pocketing him, dude, and they were
Yeah.
trying to scheme Tyreek, and I mean, like, he had him on clamps, like, he's running with the receivers, he's not getting bit off on the releases,
Right.
like, he's not getting run off, so.
Exactly. And
Christian
we knew he had
Gonzalez
that-
was in his pocket.
Yeah.
So
And we knew he had that athletic ability, and he's
Yeah.
learning how to play the position, so it's becoming a serious issue here. He's going to be a good player for a long time, I think.
yeah.
No better place to learn, right?
Exactly. So he already proved
Unfortunately.
himself against Tyreek Hill. I mean, he got a pick last week, but it was kind of to his fault for underthrowing him. But still, he got a pick.
Yep.
And it was on Tyreek Hill. And then another reason why I'm sitting Garrett Wilson is no secret. Zach Wilson sucks.
Yep.
I mean, there's no more time. Like, he's had his time to prove us all wrong. He sucks.
He sucks.
So I'm sitting Garrett Wilson this week. I think Christian Gonzalez is going to clamp him. And I would start a bunch of other receivers over him. Like I said, I'm starting Puka over him. So if you got him week 1 or somehow drafted him and you're a genius and you thought that he was going to be really good coming out of college, only a genius really know all that type of stuff. But listen, man,
a real special kind of guy.
Yeah. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and move back to Kyle for Panthers at Seahawks.
Yeah, Panthers Seahawks, man. This game is kind of trash, especially with no Bryce Young. I mean,
Red Rifle
I called Bryce Young being out. You guys were hating on the move, but Red Rifle, baby, it's time to get back. I mean, what is there to be excited about right now on the Panthers offense? I mean, Miles Sanders is banged up, hasn't looked amazing. Their offensive line not looking
really
great.
Rough. Receivers
not looking great. Mingo's getting peppered with targets. I guess you can be excited if you're into rookies and stuff like that. But I mean, Bryce Young didn't look great. We kind of were thinking like, hey, it might be a joke to not start him week 1, right? But maybe they should have sat him.
Yeah.
I mean. Injury concerns already popping up, bro. Like I don't think maybe like 1 to 3 weeks would have been the worst idea. Just 1 to 3 weeks. It's tough getting out there in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I mean the Seahawks, man. DK Metcalf's probably going to be sitting out.
Saw that.
Tyler Lockett is playing. I know he kind of picked up a bang last week, but he kind of got back in there. Gino. Looked good last week. A lot better than first week.
Yeah,
but
a lot
better.
We still watch that boneheaded move where he scrambles back 10 yards.
Yes.
And runs it to the sideline, does not throw the ball out, and just takes the sack.
Yeah.
Like, what are we thinking here, dude? I don't know.
It's a drive killer.
As a Geno truther, that one hurt.
Yeah.
No, I could not do it. But the Panthers' passing defense, bro, is actually really nice.
Yeah. Their defense in general.
No, their defense in general is nice. Like their rush defense a lot worse. So like, I think they were actually ranked like bottom 8 or something. But I mean they were a top 10 pass defense in yards allowed. Like they're kind of in clamps right there, forcing one way to go, which is to run it down their throat. Which I mean, the Seahawks, Ken Walker is gonna be my guy, bro.
That's your guy of the week.
He's gonna be my guy of the week. No DK, JSN hasn't really broken out. I mean, we can feed Tyler Lockett, but I just think that the Panthers are going to be honed in on this pass D on pass D. So
that's good stuff.
That actually makes a lot of sense. And Shaq Thompson, I believe, is the middle linebacker for the Panthers. Is out for the season.
Yeah, the Panthers have a lot of linebackers on injury. Brian Burns is he's banged up. He's questionable, but I don't think he's been ruled out.
Yeah, if he doesn't play too, then that's their best 3 defensive players essentially.
It's tough, bro. I mean, like all those linebackers out. But I mean, Ken Walker, like he's showed that Charbonnet is not going to be the guy. So I mean, Ken Walker, that's his job to lose right now in any type of circumstance. Hopefully not injury, knock on wood. But I mean, he's looked good. He hasn't broken over 100 yet, but I mean, Geno needs help. They're not going to pass this team to glory. So
yeah, they need to definitely have a good running game, mixing it with the play action. That's really where I think they succeed a lot. And I definitely agree. I think Sharp is guaranteed second fiddle at this point. It's not going to be any kind of 55-45% kind of work. I think it's a much more closer to like a 70-30 almost. So.
Yeah.
But no, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm happy to have Ken Walker starting this week in a couple
and,
leagues.
And he's getting the money carries too. So I mean, we can't even be mad that he's getting vultured by Charbonnet or anybody else. Like, he's getting the money carries, he's getting in between. So and he was getting some catches last week.
Yeah,
I'll take
exactly. That makes sense. All right, and then so I am on to Bears Chiefs. This is my only 425 game, and I am sitting DJ Moore until future notice, but especially for this particular matchup.
Okay.
The Chiefs are 5th in completion percentage allowed for passes in a game. 5th lowest.
Oh.
So like the opponent's percentage is like 50 something. It's on the lower end. Yeah, exactly. Like,
they're good.
They're good at it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't word that correctly, but yes, exactly. Like, as they're the 5th best at having your opponent's QB percentage be low.
Gotcha.
And the 2 quarterbacks that they played against were Jared Goff and Trevor Lawrence, who are, even if you want to be picky, they're top half quarterbacks.
They're throwing the ball a lot.
Exactly. And they're definitely like, even if you really want to get picky with Goff and try to say, and even if you're not a big Lawrence guy and say they're like, the 12th or the 14th best, like those are still upper level quarterbacks that they're keeping to small completion percentages. So I definitely think that, and with Justin Fields' struggles against Buccaneers defense is nothing to laugh at either, but missing wide open throws against that defense, how are they going to do against one that's like specializing in passing defense right now?
They go down 21-3 or 21-0, it's over. I mean, what is Justin Fields going to do? The run game goes away. Chris Jones is back. He's a monster. I mean,
looked really good.
Yeah.
Looked like he didn't miss any time.
Yeah, Bears got injuries all across the board. Their O-line is like a high school level O-line. It's bad.
Yeah,
so.
And I feel like Justin Fields is going to take off a lot more of this game, just rushing yards in general. And I I think that's going to be another reason why you don't want DJ Moore. The passing volume is going to be low. And until further notice, I think that I'm sitting DJ Moore for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I think
He
it's
kind of
done.
went off last week, though.
Right. I mean, that is true. They gave him some stuff, and I think he ended up getting a touchdown on a short pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wasn't it mostly all his yards came off like one big play, pretty much?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
sense, then.
It was one big play, and so I think the Chiefs. This is the best defense of the Mahomes era, so far, at least, and just talent-wise, I think so. Because in general, their formula has been, bad defense, Mahomes scoring 35-40 a week, but that doesn't seem to be the case right now as far as offense goes. So, if they can continue that trend, I think the Bears' passing game is going to suffer in this particular matchup.
That makes sense to me.
Save all that money, man. Load up on defense. Mahomes' offense definitely doesn't look like it's worth a penny, so...
Yeah. It's been looking
Those
bad.
pass catchers do not at all.
Nah.
But, I mean, Kelsey was only back for 1 week last week. He missed week 1.
He was banged
Probably
up.
wasn't
banged up.
100%.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so
So I could definitely see that shifting back the other way, but in general, I think the defense is legitimately good. They played against two, in my opinion, pretty legit offenses, and they've shown that passing is not going to be their weakness so far.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to another 425 matchup. We got the Cowboys versus the Cardinals. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
This game's going to be over at 5:30.
Like, the slate sucks. It's like the number 1 overall team right now versus the 32nd overall team right now.
Yeah.
So my player that I'm starting is Dak Prescott. Yeah, we're starting the Dak, man.
Dak Daddy.
The Cowboys have scored 70 points this season and have only allowed 10.
Yeah.
So,
5.0 average, bro.
Like,
That's crazy.
that's
Not even averaging a
crazy.
touchdown.
Yeah. So
that's got to be their highest point differential since like the 60s or something.
Bro,
probably,
like
70s.
it's unreal. And yeah, they played what, the Jets and who else did they play?
Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Look, they both look terrible. I mean, it's just going to continue this week, which Joshua Dobbs has been looking pretty good for, being on the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
He's looked solid. But I mean, it was against the Giants, which the Cowboys also dookied on them. So, the Cardinals aren't going to do anything. I could see another blowout here. So I got Dak Prescott. And Arizona is 29th against quarterbacks. So I'm easily
against
starting.
Daniel Jones and Sam Howell as well.
True. Yeah.
That's even worse,
yeah,
bro.
that's bad.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty bad. And I mean, they're not going to have any time to throw with Micah running in there, dude.
Yeah.
Even with Diggs gone now, RIP, bro. Hurts, but...
No, that definitely sucks.
But I mean, who was he guarding in this matchup? Michael Wilson?
Yeah.
Marquise Brown?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, so Dak Prescott is really just the only player that I really feel comfortable. I mean, obviously I'm starting a lot of fucking Cowboys players, but I mean, Cardinals players, I mean, if you have to start James Conner, that's pretty much it at that point.
But I feel like that's rough, man, because I don't see them
you
on
just
the
get
goal line
down
a
so
lot.
quick. That's the thing. But, I mean, I think that will go up pretty early. I mean, Josh Dobbs, the thing is, I don't see our defense turning it over or scoring a lot. I mean, losing Diggs, yes, that hurts, but he's not the only person who can cause a turnover. But Josh Dobbs is pretty safe with the ball. So, I mean, he's not going to put it in danger. We're not going to be scoring 14 points off touchdowns on defense like we did against the Giants and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe, bro.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Maybe,
but I mean,
possible.
it's pretty tough. I think we get up
banking on it.
early, and I think we just sit and hammer the ball down with Tony. Give it to my boy Rico Dowdle.
Yep. Dog.
No, I think Mike is gonna have a crazy game, bro.
Yeah.
I think
He's
Mike
hungry
is.
for it, bro.
I know.
He's hungry for
he
it.
wants that DPOY bad.
He said it. He said it in the Pivot podcast before, bro. Like he wants it bad this year. He said he's not taking no plays off. He admitted that he was doing it last year. So I mean, good on him for doing that, bro. But it's tough.
That's actually scary. To think about.
Yeah.
When you got a guy like Michael Parsons, bro, or a pass rusher like that just scares the whole damn defense and offense, like
changes everything. Yeah. So I agree. I think Cowboys are gonna roll here.
All right, I just talked about your team, Kyle. Go ahead and talk about mine. Let's hear it.
Speak.
You have to hype them up, bro. I hyped up your team. You have to hype up my team.
Speaking of menaces on defense, man, TJ Watt is crazy.
Absolutely,
He's crazy. He's crazy. Like,
psycho.
Is it a stretch to say that we could argue better than his brother?
No, I definitely think he is.
I think we could argue.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's still hard to say, bro, because he was dominant.
Yeah, JJ Watt for 3 years, bro,
dominant,
was like
dude.
the best player in like football almost.
Yeah,
you know?
but he should have won MVP one year, like over Aaron Rodgers.
So, but in my opinion, if TJ Watt breaks the sack record this year, which he could,
he already tied it.
Right, he should have broke it.
Yeah, he did that in 14 games.
I was about to say with missing games too.
Yeah.
What was it? It was like a pec tear or something like that. Different breed.
He's different, bro. Yeah,
Different breed. But
Different breed.
the Steelers, man. I mean, Jared, Sorry, brother, but we
I
can't be
know.
excited about
I
that
know.
offense at all. Like,
It's terrible.
Defense, great.
Yep.
Still love the Steelers' defense.
Amazing.
Outside of the rushing defense, I mean, the rushing defense
It's bad.
has looked pretty bad. I actually think you guys are like the 32nd.
They're worst. They are
I
worst.
think you're the
Yeah.
32nd ranked
Yeah.
rush defense right now. That's why I got Josh Jacobs as my guy this
Yeah.
week.
Okay.
He
I
hasn't looked
expected
great.
that.
Yeah,
He's
2
looked
bad
slow.
games in a row.
Yeah, he's looked slow, but Sunday Night Football, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. Neither of these QBs are sharp. I mean, Kenny Pickett, it's hard to be excited about him. I mean, you look at him, he's safe with the ball, but he's not doing anything that you're writing home about. So
He's not even really safe with the ball, to be honest, bro.
At this point,
He made a terrible throw last week. Like, literally, like, he rolled out to his right, and I forget who the receiver was, but he was blanketed. I think it was Allen Robinson. He was blanketed, and Kenny Pickett still threw the ball, and it was a pick.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like, why would you even throw that? Just throw it away.
I think the pressure's just on, dude. I mean, the fan base is starting to uprise. I mean, we know that they've been wanting Matt Canada out. You hate Matt Canada.
I hate him.
We need to get him out of there, bro.
Yep.
But, like, I think he's starting to feel that pressure, too, at this point. Like, I might be on the hot seat.
Did
Like,
you hear what
yeah.
he said?
Nah, I
He
didn't hear what
literally
said.
reached out to fans, and he said, if you're so upset, then tell me what the problem is. What should I do? Like, why are you asking the fans, what should I do? What should I
No
do?
way,
Help me. Do my
bro.
job for
No.
me. Like,
No.
bro, he is bad. He's
Did
the
he
worst.
really say that?
Yes, bro. Like,
He's cooked.
Yeah.
like
He's
how
cooked.
do you even still have your job after that,
He's
bro?
cooked,
I don't
bro.
know.
I don't even
Nah,
get
that's
it.
Bad. That's really
But-
bad.
I mean, I expect a pretty modest scoring game. I mean, Jimmy G's not doing anything crazy. Josh Jacobs, this is a game for him to get started, but I mean, it's not like they're going to score 35 off Josh Jacobs' back. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I see it's probably a low-scoring game and low-power offenses, like a 17-14, 17-21 maybe.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
But Josh Jacobs, I think this is his year finally, or his game,
His
I should
week,
say,
yeah.
to break out. I mean,
I can
he's
see it.
maybe like what 60 yards on the season, if that.
Yes,
like
it's bad.
It's really bad. I mean, he's been looking off. Like he's been
Yeah.
missing blocks when we're showing him.
Bill's
I mean,
clamped
what
his
are
ass,
we doing,
bro.
man? I think it's his week to bounce back, and I mean,
Yeah.
Makes
Devontae
sense.
Adams is going to be out, possibly with that concussion still. I mean, I guess we can be excited about
Jacoby's coming back.
yeah,
though.
but I guess we can be excited about his favorite target, Jacoby Brissett, coming back. But
Myers.
yeah, or Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby
Jacoby
Brissett.
Myers, even worse. It's basically like Jacoby Brissett throwing it to him. I mean,
Yeah.
Jimmy G is.
He's looked better than advertised, bro. He's looked like
Right.
he's not going
He's
crazy.
healthy. I mean,
he's not going crazy, but he's a really good game manager,
Yeah,
and like
he
he
is.
knows how to win games.
He's
So-
consistent with what he
Right.
is when he's
Yeah.
healthy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's solid. He's a winner, and he can get your team there. He's not going to
Yeah.
make mistakes. So
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
If his team is better, I feel like he can lead them to the victory. But I don't feel like the Raiders are better than the Steelers personally.
nah, I mean, and you got Mike Tomlin, bro. I mean, you guys, what's his record on primetime lately?
Oh, bro,
Or
they
Sunday
haven't
Night
lost a
Football?
Monday Night Football game.
That's
Well,
what
this
I'm
is
saying.
Sunday night.
Oh,
It's
this is
Sunday
Sunday,
night,
okay.
but like their
Yeah.
primetime record on
Yeah.
Sunday and Monday is insane.
Yeah, I bet it's
so
insane.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
I was reading like Kenny Pickett's like 4-1. I don't know if it's Sunday Night Footballs or if it's
Or just
primetime
prime
game.
time. I think
Yeah.
it's just prime time
Prime
because
time.
there's no
Okay.
way we played that many fucking.
That's what I'm saying. I
Sunday
didn't
night
think so
football
since he's
games.
been playing. But Kenny primetime, you tell me.
Yeah. Hey.
No, bro. We played prime time last week and he looked terrible.
Yeah. Hey, Kenny
Hey,
primetime.
got that
chill
dub,
out.
got that dub.
Kenny
We
dog.
still
prime
didn't get that
time.
dub, but that wasn't because of him.
Kenny primetime.
It's
Yeah.
because of Alex Highsmith, low key. But I'm excited to see how Jimmy G does fare this week against those two elite
Yeah.
pass rushers.
Tough
So,
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
and Minka's gonna play, so
Yeah, Minka's in.
yeah, I guess speaking of elite pass rushers, that's gonna move us on to the Eagles-Bucks game.
Yeah, Eagles
Yeah.
Buccaneers, and I have a crazy spicy one for this one.
Okay.
This is someone that I would think is probably not on most rosters in redraft.
Wait,
you
wait.
need to start.
So you're not gonna say Mike Evans for the third week in a row?
I'm not.
No.
Keep starting Mike Evans. That I will
God.
definitely endorse that.
Pound
But
it.
This one, if you're looking for a tight end, you need to grab Kate Auden in this matchup.
Ooh.
And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. So the Eagles just lost their slot corner for the year. Or I don't think for the year. He's on IR though. Avonte
Okay.
Maddox.
I was about to say, Matt.
Two of their inside linebackers are banged up.
Mm-hmm.
One of them might still play, but I know Nakobe Dean is on IR. I'm expecting the middle of the field to be wide open. And against Hayden Hurst, they allowed 56 yards and a touchdown with those players, with Nakobe Dean and Avonte
Okay.
Maddox. With Avonte Maddox for half of the game, they allowed 66 yards and 2 touchdowns to TJ Hawkinson. So Hawk is obviously like
Sheesh.
a way higher level of tight end,
Right.
but this is a pattern.
What,
This
Yeah.
is a pattern.
what type of
It's
defense
bad.
they running over there, man? They running a lot of zone blitzes or something,
Like,
and just
I
let these guys curl into the zones. Like,
I guess so, but they've allowed
That's-
5 catches, over 50 yards, and a touchdown to every tight end they've played so far. I feel like Kate Aden's going to make it work.
Dude, that is the spiciest one of the week.
That's what
Hey,
you, bro. That's
Baker
crazy.
Baker is going for 304 tuds.
Oh,
Oh, my.
Sorry,
Four.
Omar.
Four.
Sorry, Omar.
4 touchdowns.
I can
Four
see
tuds.
300 yards. But 4 touchdowns is crazy.
1 to Cade Otton, 3 to Mike Evans.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
Oh
But yeah,
my God.
I think that's a spicy one, and I don't think that like if you don't be sitting like George Kittle for Cade Otton or anything like
Well, you
that.
can't. It's
But
too late.
oh well, I guess you got me. You know, Mark Andrews, those kind of guys, don't be doing anything like that. But if you're kind of streaming tight ends, I feel like Cade Otton's going to be a good choice, and I think he's going to score a touchdown this week.
Damn, that's
Okay.
that's a spicy one,
All
bro.
right.
I'm definitely keeping my eye.
That's
on
my
that.
reach.
Load him up.
Yep.
All right, we'll move on to the last game. That was the first Monday night game. We have a second Monday night game for the second week in a row, which I love.
Yeah, me too.
Get rid of Thursday night football and just make 2 or 3 Monday night games, and then add more Thursday night games not Thursday, 4:00 games on
Yep.
Sunday. For my last one, it's not too spicy. We got Rams versus Bengals, and I got actually 2 guys. I couldn't really decide, but they're kind of both hand in hand. I have Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua.
Nice.
First time I've really been able to talk about him on the pod.
Yeah.
So, let's.
They haven't had a Rams game yet.
Yeah, let's hear this Puka hype.
So the first thing I want to bring up is that this is a Super Bowl rematch, so that's pretty exciting to
Yeah, that's
watch.
actually spicy.
But if Joe Burrow doesn't play, then it's not going to be as fun to watch. Obviously,
He'll play.
It
you
sounds
think
like
he's
he
going to play?
is. It sounds
You
like
guys think
he
so?
is,
He's gonna-
but
he's
I saw that
He's gonna
doesn't
tough
look
it
like
out,
he's gonna
bro.
play.
I think he's gonna tough it
I
out.
feel like he shouldn't, but I feel like he's going to play as well.
I think the problem is that if you go out now, you're 0-2. You're on the brink of an 0-3 start, which
Right.
is deadly. I mean, they didn't look.
Yeah.
They looked really slow last year, if you guys remember. I mean, what the Cowboys
started
came and
0-2.
absolutely smacked them in Cincinnati last year, and everyone thought that they were going to stomp us out. They started.
We
off
beat them week
slow.
1 last year too.
Yeah, they started off slow, and I mean they're kind of doing it again. But you take out Joe Burrow, who's the next guy up right now? Don't tell me it's like Jeff Driscoll or something.
It's
dude.
worse than that. It's
It-
like Jake Browning.
it-
if I
it
remember
is
correctly.
Jake Browning.
Yeah.
Is it Jake
I
Browning?
saw it today.
I didn't even know
Yeah.
if he made the final roster.
Yep.
You
It
put
is.
Jake Browning in, dude. You go down and lose to the Ravens. You're an 0-3 start. Nobody's done good. Like, are you going to can the season at that point? Because I mean, they don't have a bye week till week 7. So unless you're sitting out 1 week and you're risking going 0-3 and having no offensive momentum at all, like
Yeah.
that's a tough pill, dude.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna play. To be honest with you, I think they should
Yeah.
sit him. I mean, I get why you're risking him. Like you said, you don't want to start 0-3.
Yeah.
But
Nobody's made
he's
the
still your
playoffs
franchise
0-3
quarterback,
in
though.
the
Right?
17
But do you
game
sit
era.
him just a game or two, or do you just call him out until week 7 at this point and say, let's try and heal and we can hopefully scrap a few games together, have some wins? I mean, the Browns and the Steelers are obviously not looking super great right now.
Right.
You just lost Nick Chubb, so I mean, you kind of have an open division. The Ravens are looking like they're probably going to take the division, but
Probably.
maybe the Bengals can squeak in. I mean, you lost a wild card spot probably with the Jets. So, I mean, you got Buffalo and Miami there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, AFC hasn't looked too
Chargers.
great. Chargers, like, they haven't looked
They're
great.
0-2 as well.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
But they're still gonna be in the playoff hunt, though.
They're
That's
going to be in the hunt, but I mean, like, it's nice when the Jags and Chargers look bad right now.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like the AFC wildcard spots are wide open,
They
which
are.
we kind of thought were just a lock. We're like, AFC is
I don't
almost
know
a lock.
though. It's
Yeah,
always
I mean,
been
I
like
feel like
there's
it was
so
like a
many teams
lock.
that could make
That's
it.
the thing. It's like a lock, but you know there's going to be 2 or 3 teams that are still really good, and right now, I mean, just none of them look great. Granted, it's only
Yeah.
week 2, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it plays out come October. We know that's when it starts.
Right.
Um,
I agree for sure.
But yeah, back onto my guys that we got this week for Puka and Matthew Stafford. Puka has, in 2 games, he has 35 targets.
Number 1.
35 targets in
That's
2
actually
games!
unbelievable,
He's
dude.
on pace to be the GOAT, bro.
I
Like,
knew
I've been
he had-
saying
I knew he
it.
had
Number
20
one.
in the it was 20 targets last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah, 20 targets.
Yeah,
yes,
20
yes,
targets.
yes. He has 25 catches on 35 targets this season.
Number 1 in the league.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
absolutely
has
crazy.
266 yards in 2 games.
Yeah.
Averaging 133. He still hasn't gotten in the end zone yet, which just sucks. I don't even know how. Like, how do you have 25 catches?
Like, that's
None are
impossible.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
So
He keeps getting stopped in the goal
but,
line. Giving it to
um,
Kyron Williams.
Hey.
Matthew Stafford only does have 1 passing touchdown of the year, and it came last week. He had 0 week 1. Also only has 1 pick, which also came last week. But the Bengals against quarterbacks are 28th in the NFL.
Ooh.
Now, that was against Lamar Jackson and who did they play week 1? The Browns. So Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. Those are kind of those are mid quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson's a mid quarterback.
Which you will, bro, but
Swear will die with that opinion, bro.
he's arguably the best quarterback in that division.
Arguably.
Nah.
If Joe Burrow's healthy, I still am taking Joe Burrow. But as of right now, I would say Lamar is the best quarterback. But
For 2 games.
But yeah, I mean,
Hard to disagree.
I mean, either way, bro, the Bengals are terrible against the pass right
Bro,
now.
the
Their
thing
defense
I
is
said week
sus.
1 about their new safeties.
Their safeties.
Their safeties are suspect.
Yes, they are. I was looking into that today, bro, and they might be out again. Like they have
lost
2
Jesse
safeties
Bates,
that are
right?
injured.
They lost Jesse Bates.
Yeah, they lost
Yep,
Jesse
he's
Bates.
on the Falcons.
And the other one as well is on the Panthers now.
What was it,
Von Bell.
Von Bell,
Von
yeah.
Bell.
And they had been their safeties for like 4 years in a row. So.
Oh wow, I didn't
Yeah.
realize that Von Bell was that long tenured over there
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
Bates was.
Mhm.
Yeah, but the other
Big
thing,
difference.
the other reason I'm starting Matthew Stafford and Puka is that as y'all know, Cam Akers was traded.
Mhm.
So I mean, I know he didn't play last week. It's not going to be like, oh, Cam Akers is gone, so now everyone has to eat. Like, I mean, yeah, it'll be good for Kyron Williams, but like, I don't feel comfortable giving Kyron Williams 20+ carries a game.
I do.
Bro.
Why not?
Because he's just not that guy, bro. He's not that good.
Oh,
He's not that
He's looked
good.
pretty good, and he's
He has
kind of
looked
tiny,
pretty
bro.
good.
Like
He has,
he
but-
looks really small, but he's looked really good.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that teams don't have that much film on him. I mean, I'd still start him. I mean, with running backs, like we said earlier, like getting injured here in like every single game, pretty much. I mean, I would still start him, but I don't know. I'm not big on Kyron
Well,
Williams.
I feel like Sean McVay is the kind of coach who's going to target weaknesses, so I feel like they're going to
Yeah.
pass the ball a lot with the Bengals struggling to
Exactly.
defend the pass.
So yeah,
Makes a lot
I
of
mean,
sense. So what's your guarantee on Puka yardage and catches?
yardage and catches. I'm taking. I'm at least 8 catches. At least, at the
Oh,
very
so Jerry
least, bro.
Rice.
Yeah, no.
Where he was
Oh,
the
God.
last 2 weeks.
Bro, like at least I almost said 10. Y'all are lucky I didn't say 10. I'm saying at least 8. I bet the car on that.
Bet the
That's amazing.
car. Nobody bet the car
Yards?
yet.
I
You
bet
did.
the car. I bet the car on what was it? I think I said 8 receptions too for somebody.
For
What did I say? Can't remember.
it was Zay Flowers.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
Zay
Yep,
Flowers.
Zay Flowers, 8 receptions.
So listen, the 2 best rookie wide receivers, Puka Nacua obviously being number 1.
Yep.
I'm
you
saying
go.
8 catches over 100 yards. He's done both in both games. So that's
continuing
easy.
It. All right.
And this is going to be the week
On
that he
prime
scores. This will be the week he scores.
No,
All
okay.
right.
It's time! Bet the car!
Maybe a touchdown, maybe not 8 catches though. I don't know,
No,
bro.
I'm more confident in the 8 catches than the touchdown.
Sean McVay just loves feeding guys. Like he
does.
just
Yeah.
goes, if you like him, Stafford, just sling it to him. Who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly.
Makes sense to me.
But all right, that'll be all the time we have for today for
Yeah.
week 3. Thank you, Kyle, for being a special guest on
Yes.
the podcast.
Appreciate it as
Appreciate
always.
everybody.
You are a true Dynasty King,
Yeah,
and
this was amazing.
we will catch you all next week.
Alrighty.
See
Bye,
ya.
y'all.